Hello, today I'm going to be talking about vacuuming, sealing your bulk products. If you've gone to a local farmer or if you've gone to your favorite wholesale club. I've bought salmon, I've got hamburger, ground beef, I have 2 pork shoulder roast. And I need to separate all of this and vacuum seal it. And the reason why I do this is this is so much economical to buy it in bulk. And when you're ready to cook, you can just go right in the freezer and pull out what you want. You can do hamburger patties, you can do so much different things, especially if you have a small family or a large family. You can go and get single items instead of opening up a whole package of pork chops or different things like that. You can separate it and go in and cook it one at a time, or if it's just 4 of you and you got a huge package of pork chops, you could just bring out the amount that you needed for that dinner instead of thawing out everything. So today I'm going to start off with my pork shoulder roast. So I start off with a roll. The roll comes in larger sizes. I have some that are already pre-cut and sealed, but this one came in a roll and I had to measure it out, and I'm going to seal one end first. And this is good for you if you're wondering. I know a lot of people, I watched a lot of videos before I decided on getting this. So I thought, I'm going to do a video. It would be great to do a video for those who want to know if it would be worth it. And I think it's been well worth it for me. It saves time and it helps me to buy bulk products and be able to come home from work or whatever you're doing in a day, and you could just easily just grab something and cook it. So it definitely works for me. So what I'm going to do right now, I have a vacuum button, a seal button. We have different modes: dry, moist, pulse, and sous vide. And I have the vacuum mode. I use the vacuum mode most of the time. So since I have nothing in this, I'm trying to seal one end before I put my meat in. So I'm going to seal it. Close it and seal. And the version of Food Saver that I bought, it just lights up and it lets me know that it's sealing. And when the light goes off, it's finished. And you can see the seal right here. And this side is open. So I rinsed this meat off, but it's juices everywhere and it can be messy. But because I'm filming, this is going to be a whole different process. So I like this because it's boneless. I could just get this. It looks like I can't fit it in there, but I'm going to get this thing in here. Like that. Turn this thing around. And one thing I like to do is keep a roll of paper towels around. I'll lay this down. I'll tear off paper towel and I wipe the inside off, because when this starts to vacuum, it'll suck out all the juices, and I like to have, and sometimes the juice, if it's too much juice in here, I want to dry it off as much as you can. It's hard to seal. So I'll try to dry this off as best I can. And I'm going to sit that there. I'm gonna lay this down and put this inside the green little tray. Close it, seal it, or there's a lever on the side that you can close it. And then this time I'm going to do vacuum. So it's going to vacuum it, and then it's going to also seal it. It's going to automatically go to the sealing stage after it vacuums. So I don't have to do the seal button when I'm doing vacuum. So first time. That's a large piece of meat. Once you seal it, you want to kind of clean the surface between the different meats. Like I'm getting ready to do salmon. And then this is pork. Put the date on here. Sometimes you look in your freezer and don't remember even having the meat in the freezer. So it's good to date it. Even if you're sealing, make sure you know the dates on the meat. Taking this out to my freezer. I'll wipe this stuff off in the sink. I'm just doing a double, just sanitizing. I got fresh gloves. They have different machines on the market. If you need to do a lot of this, I think you need to do your research to make sure. I don't do a lot of this because I only probably buy bulk maybe 2 or 3 times a year, especially something like the picnic pork and chuck roast and hamburger and things like that. Otherwise, I just buy a little small size, but I try not to do that. I try to get my hamburger and try to get enough hamburger to last maybe 3 to 6 months. And I mean, everything is expensive. So I'm going to put my salmon in here. One day I may want to have salmon and my husband want to eat something else, and I can just grab this. Or if he's out of town and, you know, it's me and then they have different sizes. If you want to have, one person want to have a larger piece. And so I just love doing this for salmon. And every time I throw this in the freezer and I don't separate it, I regret it immediately when I go grab it. Like, why didn't I separate? Why didn't I seal this? And since this is a nice quality of salmon, it freezes up very well. Change this mode to moist because this is moist. finish. And the butter, this is a basil pesto butter that comes with this. And I got this from Costco. So I kind of freeze it with the butter in it. So I have all my salmon individually sliced. When I do like a beef tenderloin, I do maybe 2 to 4, depending on who I'm cooking for. So most of the time I may pack 2 pieces of, maybe filet mignon or 2 steaks in one package, and I grab the 2 out if I'm just having dinner for 2. So let's finish with that. And then I just get my marker, take this off. I like to use fresh gloves because I'm going to be doing ground beef next. So this is my salmon. And they do have a little white strip on here so that you can put the date. It's on this side. And I really don't need to put the name of the product because you can see what this is. The date is more important. This down again, even though I didn't have much of a mess like I did for the pork roast. And I went to Costco today, and I mean, it was packed. I had to circle the parking lot at least 3 times, and it was a large parking lot. So here's another one. I'm just cutting this in half. I might make meatloaf with one and maybe hamburger patties with the other side. I need to seal this bag because this is not a pre-cut. It came from a roll. Again, here comes in a roll. And this roll fits in here and you can just pull it, seal it. But I like to pre-cut what I'm doing when I'm using this. I like to measure it out, pre-cut it. Just seal the end. Here's the seal. Now I'm going to take half of my ground beef. Like I said, you can do, sometimes I make up a batch of hamburgers and make singles. Then I'll take the little small rolls. I have a smaller roll and cut those and have hamburger patties to do, just like I said with the salmon. You can have an individual, one person may want a hamburger. You can just grab a patty. It's already done for you. But this I have plans for. I don't plan on making hamburger patties, maybe a meatloaf or something like that. I'll do the same with this. I used to own a cafe, so I'm used to rewashing and putting putting different gloves on and everything. I don't like to use the same gloves over and over. I got a fresh pair of gloves. Wash my hands. Do not want to cross contaminate. There's my ground beef. Packaged and ready to go. Do the same for this one. Seal it. When I first bought this, I'm like, I don't want to sit. I did it and it was taking me, because I like to go through things quickly. And my husband is always saying I'm on production. But I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use this thing a lot, if I have to do all of this stuff. But I tell you this, I regret it every time I reach in that freezer to take something out. And we're living in times where everyone wants to save, if it's 50 cents, $1, whatever. You want to save money, and buying your meat in bulk will save you money. You could have broken this up into 4 pieces and wipe this off, broke it up into 4 pieces and had 4 different meals. Start making casseroles. Casseroles are good when you have a family of 4 and you're trying to save money. Cut this in half and you can do a lot with that little piece of meat. So if you're budgeting, if you're trying to make sure you only eat a certain type of, certain amount of meat, or budgeting out your meat for the week, you could take this and break it down, and you're making a soup or anything. You can add other ingredients to take these gloves off. Add any other ingredients and make a larger meal that's going to last maybe a couple of days. I'm going to put the date on this. And here we go. We got a box that I need to take out to the freezer. And this pork shoulder roast, you could have cut that into 4 smaller roasts and preserve them separately, and it's a smaller bag. Whatever you need to do, check your recipe, because this is a lot of meat. This may be 2 or 3 pounds right here in 1/2. And this pork roast, you could easily cut that in half and preserve that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe.